this is more of a Warner Brothers heavy day. And it is what it is. Monday's news is kind of slow, but I still enjoy talking about Warner Brothers, even though they got rid of Henry Cavill. That was the stupidest decision they could have ever made. James Gunn has basically ruined the prospects for the next 3 DC movies, Flash, Shazam, and Aquaman, because there's no point in watching them if we have to just sit here and wait to see what he's going to put out. All that being said, there's reports on the recasts, and James Gunn is coming out saying, hey, some of these rumors are false, not going to elaborate on which ones they are. So we still don't know who's all getting canned and who's all staying around, but it is interesting to speculate because it's fun. It's not much to do till we get what James Gunn's putting out. Oh, excuse me again. James Gunn responds to rumors regarding recasting attempts to explain changes he's making with the DCU. Yeah, he's changing stuff, and some people are supposedly staying on, other people aren't. Still don't know who, but there was one attempt to get it all right, and James Gunn said nah. DC studio boss James Gunn recently responded to rumors regarding recasting of the DC live-action characters, as well as explaining why he and Peter Safran are making the changes they are for the DCU. Now, this is like a 2-pronged video, so please stay around for the end. I'm going to be talking about some things that James Gunn said. There's parts of it I like, there's parts of it I really do dislike. I'm going to point out the parts that I dislike and the parts that I'm going to refute. Even though I think there is some merit to what he's saying, he generalizes, and I don't appreciate that. Twitter user and scooper My Time to Shine H, well, that's a Redditor, recently claimed that Gunn and Safran will be recasting nearly the entire live-action DC cast. He noted that Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, Ezra Miller, Ray Fisher, Zachary Levi, and Jason Momoa will no longer be in the roles of Superman, Batman, The Flash, Cyborg, Shazam, and Aquaman. First thing, Ray Fisher was out as Cyborg the moment he started trying to call everybody racist and everything and try to commandeer the BLM movement to cancel a bunch of people at DC, and that completely failed. So that he's been gone for a while. Let's be real there, but that's a side note. However, the scooper also indicated that Jennifer Holland, who plays Emily Harcourt, whatever, and the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker will be returning. The scooper also claimed that the entire cast of the Suicide Squad, or what was left of its following the film, would return, including Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. Now, before we continue on, I would understand why people would think that. That is a part of what James Gunn's created. That's already established. Technically, it's possible, but it's a bad move considering how this whole all works, because the Suicide Squad's still part of the DCEU, not a part of the DCU, as my understanding is. That's my understanding. So why would you keep anybody from the previous 2 franchises? You're building it up from the ground up, so why keep any of them? Yeah, honestly, you'd have to scrap all of them. You'd have to scrap the Suicide Squad, even though I like that movie. You'd have to scrap Peacemaker. You'd have to scrap everybody and say, hey, we're starting from the ground up. If you do that, that works. But if you're bringing people over, it's going to be a mess to try to figure out, well, is this canon? Is this not canon? What's canon now? You're going to have a very comprehensive breakdown. Well, with all that being said, Gunn refuted this rumor, writing on Twitter that the Suicide Squad would indeed get recast, while also stating that previous live-action actors will be staying on their roles. Yeah, I still think this is a bad idea to have anybody who staying around, like even Viola Davis is Amanda Waller, even though I kind of like her in that role. You kind of need to be doing a massive recast and rebuild of this whole universe. Even though I really do like Viola Davis, as crazy as she is as Amanda Waller, but you got to get rid of all of them. You can't keep anybody around. All the cast of Suicide Squad was fantastic, in my opinion. I mean, I don't love the movie, but I really enjoyed it. But you can't even keep Margot Robbie. Like, come on, you got to get rid of so many of these characters. User McClan tweeted, I don't even know if I said that right, tweeted to Gunn, who knows if it's true, but recasting all the main DCU characters, but keeping some, will be interesting how Peacemaker and Suicide Squad characters / actors live on, but the others don't, particularly when they have all interacted together. Yeah, they've all been a part of each other. That's why it becomes so messy and disgusting. Like, Viola Davis's Amanda Waller has technically talked to Ben Affleck's Batman. If you get a new Batman and they have to interact with each other, it's going to feel weird. It's going to look weird. It's not going to interact right. Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn has interacted with Ben Affleck's Batman. Everybody's interacted with somebody in some way, so you got to get rid of some of these characters. Gunn replied, I keep seeing posts with this untrue theory. We're not recasting everyone except the Suicide Squad. So, we're not recasting everyone except the Suicide Squad. So they're recasting the Suicide Squad. That's good. There are some mainline characters, though, that you're going to have to get rid of. You already got rid of Henry Cavill. Ben Affleck is rumored to be gone, but is going to be directing. Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. I love Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. Well, I like Gal Gadot, but that's different reasons. She's not a good actor. There's other reasons I like her. Ezra Miller has to be gone. He's a pariah. The moment The Flash is over, just come out and say, hey, he's gone. Because you got to get rid of him. Ray Fisher is basically gone. Zachary Levi, I don't have a problem with. Keep him on if you want. Recast him if you want. I don't really care. Jason Momoa, the rumor is, though, that Jason Momoa is gonna be... I just had his name. Lobo. He's going to be coming back as Lobo. That's the rumor. Don't know if it's true yet, but that would be a good casting for Jason Momoa. And a great character for James Gunn to write, because he's so chaotic. I would enjoy watching that. As we move on, we get to stories about, one character that will be recast, Superman. They get into the Superman controversy. We start talking about, hey, Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot are still questioned to be staying around or not. Gal Gadot seemingly indicates she's still attached to the characters, going over her tweet from a few weeks back. Was it a few weeks or was it a week back? I don't remember. December 16th. I can't remember off the top of my head. We get here where Gunn started talking, saying, hey, I've talked to Ben Affleck. He's interested in directing. Isn't confirming if he's going to be the Batman. But also we've comments that they want a single Batman. But we start getting to some more interesting details as we keep moving on. As for Miller, Momoa, Levi, and Fisher, it's been radio silence. However, Miller will be reprising his role as Barry Allen in the upcoming The Flash film, which is honestly dead on arrival if you don't have Henry Cavill Superman, Ben Affleck. Well, supposedly you still have Ben Affleck Batman. But no Gal Gadot. What's the point of even watching that film if none of the characters are going to be there in the new universe? If none of them are going to be there, what's the point of even watching? Because you only have that and then the next two movies and everything's done. Momoa returns as Aquaman in the upcoming Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, and Levi returns as Shazam in Shazam! Fury of the Gods. It's possible the radio silence on these three is due to the upcoming film projects, and Gunn doesn't want to hurt their box office potential. He already has, but even though Bounding says this is just conjecture, it's probably the more realistic answer. But he already hurt their potential by saying, hey, Henry Cavill isn't coming back. You just made it clear that there's no point in watching any of these movies. The only one that was going to be worth it is The Flash. But the other two, if they're not moving forward past this, they're kind of, there's no point in watching them. And Shazam, if he's not coming back in the next universe, why watch it? Aquaman, well, if Momoa's going to be Lobo, maybe watch it, but Aquaman's probably going to do well because ladies like the Momoa abs. That's a reality. Nevertheless, Gunn did also attempt to provide an explanation for the changes that he and Peter Safran are making regarding the DCU. Now, these started coming out today, apparently. I read them through this article. There's some points in what James Gunn says that I agree with. One point, though, I'm going to push back on, even though I get what he's saying, I get where he's coming from, and I understand it, but he does a broad generalization that isn't as bad as toxic fans, but kind of can be taken as toxic fans. And some of the things they say. And I'm going to be fair and say, hey, he has a point, but at the same time, he could have worded it better. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt here. Probably shouldn't, but I am. He wrote on Twitter today, one of the things Peter and I were aware of when we took the job as heads of DC Studios was certain minority of people online that could be, well, uproarious and unkind, to say the least. I should have also highlighted that in a better way. No, I don't think they're the minority. I think they are a good chunk of the majority. I think it's scattered, though. I think it's very separated in who's arguing what point. Because you got Snyder fans, you got DC EU fans, even though those are far and few between. Then you have general DC fans that honestly are very rambunctious. DC fans are rambunctious no matter which category you're in. And yeah, they like their characters to be respected. Snyder fans, though, and DC fans kind of butt heads and fight a lot. That's just the reality. But he has a point in that some of them are, I would say a lot of DC fans are uproarious. They're very vocal in what they like and what they dislike. And when something goes not their way, they start trending hashtag fire James Gunn. Let's be fair. I don't agree with that statement. I still want to give the man at least a chance. He made a bad move, but I'm still giving him a chance. Although, let's also be fair. Snyder fans are, guys, you're kind of vicious from time to time. I like the Snyder Cut, but I'm not a huge Snyder fan. You guys can, I love your passion, but you guys can be pretty vicious from time to time. And he continued, our choice for the DCU are based upon what we believe is best for the story and best for DC characters who have been around for nearly 85 years. How about if you don't say what we believe? How about if you say what we think the fans should be given? You know, I get where he's coming from, but focus on the fans in these statements. Focus on the people that love DC. Focus on that. Now, I'm curious where he's going to be going because he has appealed to the idea that, hey, these characters have been around so long. Let's do them justice, but focus more on that than saying, hey, what we believe is best for the story. Say what we think the fans would enjoy for the story, for the universe, and for these characters. Something along those lines sound about right, but you can kind of see what he's saying, you know, for 85 years. Perhaps these choices are great, perhaps not. But they are made with sincere hearts and integrity and always with a story in mind. I like that part, okay? I like the idea that, hey, you know, they're trying at least. They want to do something good by you. They're trying. I would have focused harder on the fan idea and harder on the character idea, source material, things of that nature. I get it. This is where he starts losing me, though. No one loves to be harassed or called names. But, to be frank, we've been through significantly worse. I do kind of like how he kind of says we've had worse things thrown at us. I don't like what's next, though. disrespectful outcry will never, ever affect our actions. I don't think what was being said during the Henry Cavill disaster, let's be real, was disrespectful. Well, there probably was a thing here or there that was really wrong. I don't agree with the fire James Gunn thing and all that. I don't agree with that. That all being said, you also have to realize that these people are passionate. Like I said with the Snyder fans, they're passionate. They like what they like. They're going to vocalize that they like this stuff. That's good. You want them to be able to like what they like. Moving forward, though, you also need to respect that, hey, these guys are vocal. So there's a balance here that has to be done. Snyder fans, DC fans kind of have to not immediately attack somebody for making a dumb move, but at the same time, the person who's being kind of bombarded, discussed, whatever you want to say, needs to realize that these are fans. They get the right to kind of be nasty in some sense of the word. It's what it is, because these people have been around this character for arguably longer times than most of these writers and directors. They know these characters in some instances better than you, and they want them to be treated with respect. So, will never affect our actions. Well, the disrespectful outcries, I would say, maybe word that better. I get what he's trying to say. At the same time, that it comes off kind of demeaning. He went on. We were aware there would be a period of turbulence when we took this gig. Yeah, there was going to be a major one, let's be fair. And we knew we would sometimes have to make difficult and not so obvious choices. Yeah. That was a very awful choice that you made when it came to firing James Gunn. You didn't realize that the obvious choice was don't leave him. Don't get rid of him. Not so obvious. I'll give you that. Especially in the wake of the fractious nature of what came before us. I'll agree. DC is still a mess, and you guys are still trying to clean it up, so I'll give you some of that. Again, my more poignant points are just some disrespect. It felt a little more offhanded and kind of a slap at fans, but I get where he's coming from. That's what I'm trying to say. But he's also right that DC's just a mess right now, and they're trying to get it all cleaned up, fixed up, and said, hey, this is the universe. Nothing outside of this is canon. This is the universe. They want that. Are they going to succeed? I don't know. He concluded writing, but this means little to us in comparison to our jobs as artists and custodians and helping to create a wide and wonderful future for DC. I kind of like that. He wants to do something right by DC. He wants to do something hopefully right by the fans, not disrespect them, and treat the characters with respect. I believe that's what he wants. I choose to believe that because I don't. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I will gladly eat crow. And I think when he said the not so obvious decision, that he was responding to, hey, we may be effed up getting rid of Henry Cavill, but it's over now. We got rid of him. Sorry. I think they're trying to work out a very awful situation. Damned if you do, damned if you don't situations that are hard to navigate, and that's one of the reasons why I'm giving James Gunn and Peter Safran some of the benefit of the doubt, because no decision will be right as of right now. As long as you at least attempt to stay true to the characters, to the source material, to all of those things, more than likely you're gonna do right by the fans. You're always going to piss off fans, as Henry Cavill has even stated. You're always going to get rambunctious fans, but they have the right to be rambunctious. So, yeah, we get that right. Sorry, if you don't like it, tough. I do choose to believe, though, that he wants to do right by everybody. And I will stand by that. that being said, I hope some of the next casting, recasting, all that is with fans in mind. Not going to get Henry Cavill back, even though I think that's an awful decision. Get rid of just Ta-Nehisi Coates of Superman. Please get that out of the way. Just throw it in the back reaches of the HBO Max. Never promote it and say, yeah, it happened. Bye. Just do that and we'll be happy. Or don't do it at all. Do something. Destroy it. All that being said, though, I do think James Gunn is at least trying. Made a big mishap. Let's see what he does. Let's see what the plan is. Let's see who he casts. And we start judging him from there. He's trying to mitigate some of the issues. And it is what it is. He's in an awful position that I would not want to be in. So with all that said, guys, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.